Hi.
So nice to meet you, Katie. How are you?
Great. Nice to meet you too. Thanks for
I
doing
love
it.
your kitchen.
Thank you. What's new? We just moved in.
I love it. That's amazing. What inspired the look? I love the marble backsplash. All of that is great.
Thank you. I am one of those people that likes to renovate and then looks for another project. So I've done quite a few kitchens over the years. And in our new place, this is actually a small kitchen. So I wanted to really make sure that everything was functional
Yeah.
and the real estate's tight. So I have always gravitated towards Sub-Zero refrigerator, Wolf range and stove and an oven. I get a lot of questions on social media about the appliances I like. And I've been
Mhm.
using those now for, it seems like decades. So I had to make sure that I had them here. My kitchen, Cove dishwasher, love. I teamed up with Sub-Zero Wolf and Cove
Yeah,
to do this kitchen therapy because guess what? It's a holiday season already. It
exactly.
it came right up on us in our house. November 1st is the start of the season. We're ready for the Christmas music. And
Yes.
I really think that cooking, especially during the holidays, can actually be therapeutic. It doesn't have to be
Mm.
stressful. For me, it's a stress reliever. And
Yeah.
I recently learned that 95% of Americans feel the same way, which I thought was a pretty big number, pretty
Yeah.
high. So we're doing kitchen therapy.
Can you talk more about kitchen therapy? Because when I found out about the kitchen therapy initiative that you were doing with Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove, I went and looked at all of their appliances and I love it. One day that's going to be me buying one of their appliances. But when it comes to kitchen therapy, how do you try to, initiate like meditative practices in the kitchen to ensure that people are, enjoying the cooking experience and not stressing out, especially during the holidays?
I think sometimes it can sound overwhelming, the cooking process during the holidays. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I got all these people coming over. It has to be perfect. Well, things don't have to be perfect. Let's start off with that. But for me, I like to make a game plan. So I
Mhm.
make a lot of lists. I even make a schedule for myself so I know exactly what I need to get done. And that way I can really enjoy the process. I find it therapeutic. I find it the me time that I need during the holidays is to be in
Yeah.
the kitchen. And I've always, obviously it's my job to cook, but it's also my hobby. I love being in the kitchen. And during the holidays, knowing that I'm making something that my family's going to enjoy, it just brings me this sense of contentment and makes me feel really good.
Oh, that's so nice. And, when it comes to celebrating with your family, what are some of your favorite recipes to cook, especially with Sub-Zero's appliances? Like, have you found that there's a certain recipe or certain meal you like to cook on there based on what their appliances offer? And does it tie in with like your family recipes or the holidays?
Yes, I'm all about family recipes for the holidays. I like the nostalgia of food. So
Yeah.
we have those certain dishes that we're always going to be cooking. I'll show you right here.
Yeah.
Got cinnamon rolls. I have to have these on Christmas
Oh
morning when we're
my
unwrapping
gosh.
presents. So,
That looks delicious.
so my grandma and my great aunt have this recipe for refrigerator roll dough, and you can use it to make dinner rolls or you can use it to make cinnamon rolls. And you make
Yeah.
your dough and you let it rise in the refrigerator. So I put it in my Sub-Zero. I let it rise overnight, and
Hmm.
then I make the
Oh,
rolls, and they can actually rise again in the refrigerator. So it's great to be
yeah.
doing the night before. And then I bake it in my Wolf oven, which I really love this oven because it does get such consistent results. And
Yeah.
you want to be sure that you have an oven that is heating evenly. And that's like one of those key things to making cooking easier is having appliances that really do their job.
Exactly. I agree 100%. And you talked about your grandmother. I know she definitely influenced your love for cooking. Are there some things, family recipes from her that you still do today and that you want to pass down to your own children and your daughter?
Yes, my grandma was the greatest cook on the planet as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. And I like to try to make things that taste the way that she cooked them. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I have this feeling of when you eat something, especially when it comes to holidays, you think about what it should taste like, but
Mhm.
going back to like how your grandma made it. And so
Right.
I think like, oh, that's what mashed potatoes should taste like, because that's what grandma's mashed potatoes tasted like. So that's what I'm
Mhm.
hoping someday my daughter, when she moves away and she's in her 20s and she comes home and she says, oh, Mom, you made this for me. I was craving it.
Aw.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. When it comes to those holiday dishes, I like my turkey to have, I always do actually a maple glaze with it, a maple basting,
Ooh.
just a little bit of maple syrup into your basting liquid will make your turkey look like it came off the cover of a magazine. The sugars caramelize and it gives it just this little hint of sweetness. And then when it comes to my stuffing or dressing,
Yeah.
whichever you like to call it, I'm all about the sage. My great grandmother made the
Oh,
dressing
yes.
and she would put a lot of sage in it. So that's my number one.
I just got introduced to sage being in dressing, and I don't think I can go back. So I
So
100% agree.
I put the sage in my turkey too. I make a sage butter and put it under the
Oh,
skin.
yeah. That I'm gonna try that out, especially the maple glaze that you were talking about. And
Yeah,
the maple and the basting. That sounds delicious.
it's just holiday flavors.
Oh, gosh, love them flavors, and with all the recipes that you compiled in, your cookbooks, like the Endless Summer Cookbook and the Comfort Table, which one was your favorite to include in there?
Oh gosh. Well, in my very first cookbook, The Comfort Table, I had my grandma's recipe for biscuits.
Mm,
That's my number one. Um,
yeah.
but in my latest cookbook, it's not complicated. I did a chocolate croissant bread pudding, and I actually just
Ooh,
did a little spin on it. I'll show you here
yeah.
for holidays by making it a pumpkin chocolate croissant bread pudding.
Oh my gosh.
This is a great one to do because like I said, I'm all about make ahead and planning ahead when it comes to holidays. So for
Right.
the bread pudding, I make it completely in advance
Hmm.
and then I put it in the refrigerator. It needs at least an hour up to overnight to soak up all of the liquid.
Right.
You do a liquid of eggs, half and half, sugar, pumpkin, all that. The
Yeah.
chocolate croissants go in, soak it all up, and then bake it in the oven. What I like to do is when everybody's sat down for dinner, put
Yeah.
that in the oven, and about an hour later, it comes out hot and delicious. House smells so good, and everybody's like, "Wow, look at this dessert you made." Meanwhile, it was minimal effort.
But it's the love you put in there, and that people can taste that. I really do believe in that.
I
Yes.
I do too.
I would so love to talk about. So, you actually wrote your first novel,
Mhm.
and now it's a Hallmark movie.
Yes, that's
And you
right.
were executive producer for that. Can you talk about that experience? Like, what is it like to watch your written work come to life like that?
And that was the whole groundswell experience was completely pinch me moment from start to finish. So I wrote that novel in 2011 and
Yeah.
it just was on screen in 2022. So that just
Mm.
shows you anything could happen at any point in your life, right? I never imagined that it was going to be a movie at this point. And it was an incredible process. I got to work really closely with the writers and we had a great director.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine was the executive producer as well. It was his idea to make it a movie.
Yeah.
So it just was amazing. I got to go to Hawaii, have a cameo in the film, and also
Oh, that's
see
awesome.
the way that it took on a new life because things have to be changed and adapted from the book to the screen. So to see the evolution of my characters and then turn on the TV and there they are, that was awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing, and to be able to have that for a while, for a long time, to show your family, to show your daughter, to have that work be visible. That's something, you
Yeah,
know.
I'm very proud of it and just it makes me smile thinking about it.
That is amazing. Um, I also wanted to ask you about co-hosting the kitchen on the Food Network.
Mhm.
Like how does it feel being in that TV film industry and utilizing your skill sets as a chef to make your presence known on television and film, and to work alongside Sunny and Jeff and Jeffrey. Like, how does that feel?
I love the kitchen. I have to tell you, I think I've got the greatest job in TV. We
Yeah.
have so much fun. We've been doing this now for almost 10 years, and these people are my family. I love them. I love the people who work behind the scenes. We just have so much fun.
Oh,
And,
that's good.
and I learn from my co-hosts all the time as well. Everybody's got their tips and tricks that they're sharing, and we have a group text chain that we're constantly sharing family photos, and I just feel like they're my people.
Yeah.
So I'm forever grateful for that job. It's professionally the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm so happy for you, because that matters, to be able
Yeah,
to find your people and work with them. That makes work not work, but a great time to have. So
exactly right. It does
yeah,
not feel like work.
exactly. And I do have one last question for you before we sign off. And I just wanted to know, like, is there a favorite quote of yours that you try to live by on a daily basis? And if it's not quotes, is there something like a concept or even a picture, something that you like to take with you day by day to help you on?
I always say I already said it once to you earlier. I always say anything could happen.
Yeah.
So I really and truly believe that. And I believe if you put it out there, that it's something that you want, there's no reason to think that you can't do it, because anything could happen. You can make it happen.
Yeah. Thank you, Katie, so much
Believe
for.
in yourself. Yeah.
Yes, of course. And
Mhm.
thank you for that, because I needed to hear that. And I appreciate
Yeah.
you so much. You're
Sometimes
an
we need to tell that
inspiration.
to ourselves, that anything could happen. And I always think to myself, when I get kind of intimidated to do a project, or I'm thinking, oh, I
Mm,
really like to do this, but how would I know how to do it? I think somebody else did it and had success, so why can't I?
right. Right. I love that thinking.
Yep.
Thank you so much.